Thank you, Steve, for joining us this week. Regular Mike is out. I think he's caught syphilis from his
Aw.
mom, and he's gonna have
Yeah.
to figure that out and
Again.
get back to us.
Oh, like Harlander from Frankenstein.
Something like
Sorry.
that.
Yeah, we were just discussing that. So, yeah, poor guy. Is it stage 2?
I think
Nasty.
he'll recover, but right now, his penis has swollen up to elephant's penis size and smells very bad. And neighbors are complaining about the penis smell everywhere. So
Okay. He might still be. There still might be time as long as he doesn't go
I think he
crazy.
can recover, but it's just
Yeah.
like it's just gonna hurt and smell for a long time, and no one's gonna want to go near
What is that? Roasted penis?
it. Penis roasting on an open fire.
It's already 'tis the season.
Yeah. We just hit Christmas. This will be coming out after Christmas, but we're all up in it right now. Mariah Carey is just around the corner.
Oh shit.
So,
Up in the guts.
yeah. So we're at episode 12 of the TV show presents X-Men 92, our third giant-sized season. We're going to do the whole goddamn show in one run. So each week we're watching a couple episodes and we're discussing our thoughts and tidbits and trivia and the lasting impact of the show. And it might be fun. You might hate it. If you hate it, please let us know in the comments. And give us a 5-star review talking about how much you hate it.
5 stars.
Yeah. If you'd like to watch along with us, episodes are available to stream on Disney Plus, or I'm sure you can figure it out if you don't have Disney Plus.
Yar.
Yeah. So I'm Jim Vanderhorst. I'm filling in on the host duties. We got Benjamin Caldwell over here.
What up,
folks? Ben.
Hi.
And then we got Steve Saunders joining us, a great friend from Skull Cultist. We had a great time doing a Parallax review episode. So when Mike couldn't make this episode, we said, boom, let's bring Steve back. Figure out and listen to what he wants to say about X-Men.
I'm bringing Steve Z back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're
Because
saying.
y'all motherfuckers don't know how to act besides Steve Z.
Steve is our favorite guest.
I'm okay.
I mean, it's like choosing a favorite child, but ultimately, I think every parent does have a favorite child.
Everyone's got their Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm not supposed to do that? Oh, man. Do not tell my kids. Do not tell them.
No way.
If any of you are listening, I love all of you equally, of course. Of course.
All 386 of you spread over 300 years, Steve?
No, that's insane. It's only 157.
No.
It's only 157. So,
Sorry.
yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Halloween's over.
That's true. It's
over.
every day is Halloween, my friend. Every day.
Halloween's not over when Halloween lives in your heart.
I've got a Halloween head. Does that count?
Oh, wow. What's that a reference to?
Ryan Adams.
Brian.
Ryan Adams.
Not fucking Brian Adams. Fucking Ryan Adams. Okay? That's it. I'm out of here. Fuck you.
Right. I haven't listened to Ryan Adams in years after he turned out to be a bastard. Abusive to his wife.
Oh shit, that ruins my joke. I was going to say everything Ben does for us, but that doesn't really land in the post-summer 2025.
I'm not a sex pest.
No. I heard Brian Adams. I was thinking completely different person.
Damn it.
So, Steve, why don't you explain your relationship with the X-Men, like comic books and movies and TV show before we get into this episode? Give the audience a little bit of a background. They know how we feel about all this. They know I'm the one that's read all of the comics and learned how to read on the shit and is a hardcore nerd. And know that Ben has not watched any of this stuff since he was a kid and hasn't even watched the whole show. So we've got our different perspectives on things.
Yeah.
Okay. I learned how to read very, very young on stuff like Amazing Spider-Man and Uncanny X-Men. So I've been a lifelong fan of the X-Men. I remember I jumped in. I mean, really latched on X-Men right around the Brood storyline in I believe it was the early 80s. But I was reading X-Men before that. I was a pretty like hardcore X-Men fan. Like I had like cover plates in my room that were signed. Like I was one of those kids that had like their own gaming room and stuff. And I had a lot of X-Men stuff. And my favorite X-Men comic is X Factor. For all of you old fuckers that remember that, maybe it came back. I don't know. I kind of dipped out of X-Men probably in the early 2000s when I started working in
Having
comic
sex.
books. Was that
Oh, he
yeah.
was
No, worse, Ben. When I started working,
I mean, that's when I stopped reading comic books for sure. It was 2008 because I was having sex. But I think Steve was. I think Steve, like, hopefully didn't lose his virginity at like 30.
It wasn't. Actually,
I forgot you were 10 years older than us.
I'm really glad you guys set that up. Well, first of all, no, I stopped reading X-Men comics when I started working in the comic book industry, which is ironic. And then I had sex the same year I started watching the show is when it came out. So
hell yeah,
and
92, baby.
When I discovered that I'm not a fan of sex, but I am a fan of the X-Men. So I there you go. Maybe that's TMI. I have no idea.
Hell yeah.
No, we're all
sounds like 1992 was actually the summer of 69. Right?
Ooh.
Bryan Adams callback.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that guy terrorized me throughout the 90s. You had to be there. You guys maybe were there, but you're tiny. I remember all that Bryan Adams shit. And it was like, we were like, what the fuck plague is Canada bringing upon us? I did keep up with a lot of them kind of obsessively. And then when the show aired, I was 17. So I had other things on my mind than watching X-Men cartoons, but I did watch enough of them to, I didn't really appreciate them probably like you guys did, I would assume. I just saw it as like a complete slaughtering of the comic book, or like a weird truncated mess at the time. And then I watched some more with my kids when they were younger. I found some online somehow and then watched them with my kids, and they liked them. They liked X-Men, but not nearly as much as me. So that's my very truncated, very condensed version of my X-Men stuff.
So your opinion is that this is not canon for the most part?
Well, what is canon? Like it's a cartoon canon. They do draw from the comic storylines.
It's certainly its own separate thing.
Yeah,
I'd say like canon has become a thing in comic books so diversified that like there isn't an official canon anymore, even within the official comic books, because they have rebooted and restarted their own continuities so many times, both DC and Marvel.
Yeah, and also like I come from a time of yore when the word canon wasn't used, or if they did use it, it was spelled with two N's because no one really used
a giant gun.
Because that was the weapon of choice in wars when you were young.
Because it was Megatron, buddy, and and like it's just that it was. I mean, you could read like what is it called? Comics Journal and that deep nerd shit. So no one really cared about continuity, as we would call it then, right? Like, because it was so all over the place. It had to go through all these different issues and different writers. So things can do some continuity errors.
It was always just a different adaptation, right?
Yeah, and editors had to be on point. So your true heroes were your editors, but no one cared about them back then. So. Mm-hmm. Or now, no one really cares about the editors. But the line editors had to oversee all that shit.
I would say, like, generationally, I think that we're affected by the technology that we have access to. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, Gen X for sure, and anyone older would have had to just watch a TV show when it was on TV. And if you missed it, you missed it.
Well, or find somebody that recorded on VHS tape. And
Right.
people
You'd
would
have to
pick
be
up.
like obsessive about it if you were going to be a perfectionist completionist. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. And you had to hope
And it
somebody
was a
on.
very specific mindset. And it was like pre-nerd acceptance. Like it was like if you were that level of nerd, you were a nerd. But
Yep.
before being a
You're doing it in a
nerd
vacuum
was
usually, yeah.
cool. You know, like when hot girls put on a pair of glasses and they're like, I'm a nerd, you know, and it's like, yeah, you are a nerd. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like it's like that became a cool thing in the early 2000s. I don't know where it's at now. It seems like stuff like Marvel is totally mainstream now, but
Hmm.
like being obsessed with the comics back in the day would have put you in a different category of like social acceptance almost, you know?
Well, it was interesting because comic nerds were more accepted, like comic book characters were more accepted than say tabletop role playing game nerds. So if
Yeah.
I wore my Wolverine shirt, I had like the Punisher War Journal cover with Wolverine's claws and the Punisher. I like wearing that one. So my football teammates would be like, "Fuck yeah, Wolverine, he's cool." Like
Yeah.
our center Jerry was a huge Wolverine fan, so that was okay. Like, and these were the popular kids, and so that was okay as long as you didn't talk about it too much because that was just like fuck the anti-Spanish fly.
Yeah.
But the thing with tabletop role playing game nerds, if I wore like a Dungeons and Dragons shirt, which were ultra rare back then, you had to make your own basically. If you
Yeah.
wore that, then people would be like, "What the fuck is that?" And then then it's time to go in the dumpster. There
See,
was hierarchy.
this is exactly what I'm talking about, Steve. Thank you. Because like nowadays, if somebody has a cool shirt,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, so what? You got it online, you saw it
Yeah.
online, and you bought it online. But like back in the day, you had to seek this shit out.
Oh
If
yeah.
you were a comic book person, it was one of the rare things. Like TV was one thing. If you missed an episode, yeah, maybe somebody taped it, but comic books were there. They existed. And you would have to go to that comic book shop every week and you'd
Hmm.
have to like plan ahead and be like, hey, comic book guy, can you order all of the Wolverine or all the Gambit or whatever you're into, you know, and just make sure that there's editions of that so that I can get them
Shout
and
out
I'll come
Richard at
every
the Inner
week.
Sanctum, ABC Books, and Courtney, who was the guy who
Yeah.
was doing this for us back in the day. I think you
Hmm.
and I probably had the same conversations with him at some point, Ben.
Yeah, I definitely was into Wolverine at one point, and I
Hmm.
got, I think, most of one of his runs in like '97 in era-ish, but I don't remember much. I don't think I have the comics anymore.
Well, in the old days, let's say you missed an episode of like X-Men, right? Well, first of all, people would be asking you why you wanted to watch it, being a near adult or an adult. But the that
Yeah,
was
it,
the
it
other
was
thing.
definitely a different culture for me. Like for me, it was like on Monday, the kids would meet even before the bell rang and be like, "Did you see what happened on X-Men?" Because we were fucking 7, 8. We were like
Yeah,
the prime
that's
target
normal.
audience.
Yeah, that was like GI Joe for me. Yeah,
Yeah, and
so like
Transformers, and
yeah.
you're and, like the '80s was a different era for that. In that, I think a lot of that stuff was a little bit cooler because it was newer.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like there was the mid '80s was the height of comic books. Like that's when every comic book was selling a million titles a month, like all the big ones. And that with a smaller population. No,
Hmm.
that's right.
Less
Whereas nowadays,
competition
a
in media
comic book
too.
is like crushing it if it can achieve a million. That's like the very top of the comics industry is something that can sell a million copies
It's
Like
after a
interesting.
physical
couple.
copies,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Yeah.
It's interesting that comic book stuff is more ubiquitous now than it ever has been, way more than in the 80s.
Mhm.
Trust me on that. But readers of comic books, the people that read all the storylines and everything, are definitely far and fewer between. So back then, like my dad is a big comic book reader. He's the one that got me into comic books, right? And got me in all that and Ghost Rider and all the occult stuff like Tomb of Dracula and shit. So like because he's military, right? So or he was military, like and military guys like we'd go on the NATO base in Germany and there would be the magazine and bookseller on base and there would be a whole bunch of comics, right? We'd also order comics, meaning they would be mailed to our home from across the ocean from Marvel Comics, usually Marvel. We weren't as much into DC, and so you can get subscriptions to your comic books, which is something I don't think anybody does now. Like you have to get a Kickstarter if you want your shit mailed to you directly from the publisher. So we get
They
all these
did it for
comics.
the troops.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is the military, any military, the German guys read comic books, and I would get comic books at the local stores in the village. That was a whole bunch. Like I read German Green Lantern growing up, but the thing was, the storylines are a little harder in German, like because it was translated to German and they made it more geared towards a slightly older audience. There's a whole other story there, but the point is, military folks, because they're often like, it's boring. Most of the military is boring, waiting around doing stuff, so they read comic books. And yeah, that's how my dad got into. We read comics when he was a kid. He read them a lot in the Marine Corps when he was out at sea, and then in the Air Force, he read shitloads of comics. And then when I was born, he had his little conduit for comics right there because he was such a nerd. And you gotta remember, my dad's like 90 now, right? So he's like an OG comic nerd, right? Like this guy,
like EC Comics nerd, probably.
Oh yeah, he loved EC Comics.
I've said it before, golden era.
Yep, and then Weird War Tales was big when I was growing up. My dad loved that shit, and he still talks comics. We were just talking on the phone the other day. We were chatting about because I said I was going to be on a podcast talking about the X-Men cartoon. He goes, "I think I like that more than you did," and he's not wrong.
We should have had your dad on. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, he's
next time. Bring your dad, okay?
You think I talk? You think I talk a lot? Oh man! And also he's unfortunately in the beginning stages of dementia, so he will go on and on and on. He'll be like Ed, yo, and he can't remember certain words, so it's like Mad Libs with my dad, which my family has fun with my kids and my mom. Which it sounds cruel, so I should quickly.
It sounds like doing a podcast with me, honestly.
yeah, but like my dad will be like, so it's a conflict where people get together in large massed formations. I'm like, war, and he goes, okay, but I have fun with it, and so do my sons, and we'd be like, so sheep fucking, and he's like, no, that's not the word. That's not the word. So that's the
close.
Yeah, and we call it dad libs. So, but he's got
so good.
You're really selling me on this as sounding like an awesome thing to do.
He's got a great sense of humor, though. He knows he's got that's the form of dementia he has, and he's developing. And we love my dad dearly, and he's the kind of guy that cracks a joke at a funeral. So yeah, I mean, I'm basically my dad. So if you want to know what my dad's like, it's like me, but much older.
Is it too late to give your dad vampirism?
He looks 70. My dad looks like 70, 75. So not bad.
That's pretty good for 90, eh?
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more about vampirism, flip over to the Parallax Review Season 2 and check out our latest episode, Mirror.
Oh yeah, excellent plug. And if you want to hear some Russian history, and these guys not stop me. God, these guys are menches. These Ben and Jim are amazing, letting me just ramble on and on.
Joe Rogan has 3-hour podcasts, man. This is nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. I'm just gonna jump into the time machine here.
Okay.
So the episodes that we are discussing came out July 29th and August 5th, 1994. As part of a bizarre midsummer Fox marketing campaign where they released a couple episodes of a bunch of their flagship shows. Like they also put out some episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that introduced Lord Zed, the iconic villain, and they also dropped a couple episodes of some new shows as some previews. Just like Fox Kids was this big juggernaut at this time, and they were always trying things to get people's attention. And so in the middle of the summer, we got a couple episodes of X-Men. I remember being really, really excited about this because it just kind of came out of nowhere. And it was the thing that we were all talking about when I saw my friends for the first time at my friend Matt's birthday party at the end of summer, which is like an end of summer tradition for my group of friends. And we were all talking about this random set of episodes that had come out, mostly because it's teasing the Phoenix Saga. But anyway, the number one song on the Billboard charts of the first weekend was the last week of the 11-week run of I Swear by All For One. You know the song, right? I Swear. It's like a classic R&B.
Oh, dude, that was the year I graduated high school. I remember that shit.
Oh, yeah, that probably played at some slow song, played that slow song and dances. And who knows, maybe it was the song that was playing when you lost your virginity. Hopefully not.
The shadow that's by your side.
Okay, man. Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah,
I hope that's not even the song.
I heard it on the radio yesterday. But what's
Oh,
funny
okay.
about that song is there was a country version and there was an R&B version, and it's the exact same fucking song, except one of them is sung by like five white kids in cowboy hats, and they're like, for better or worse, till death do us part. And then the black kids are like, I love you with everything I mean in my heart. And guess which one went to number one? Think about it. Same fucking song.
Yeah. It really makes a lot of sense because really the genre is just the taste of the artist.
Yeah.
The song could be any style of song. I mean, what I've been really listening to a whole lot this week is lo-fi tunes to study to versions of wrestler theme songs because
Oh,
they're fucking awesome because all the crazy guitar solos are just piano solos. It's amazing.
how did they do the Stone Cold shattering glass effect in those?
Piano.
Yeah,
Really, really tinkly pianos.
I love
Nice.
it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Um,
I was going to say, you guys probably know way more about what was popular in 1994 than I do.
Back in '94.
Just because I didn't listen to radio. So I listened to I was excited about the
I didn't listen to
upcoming.
radio either. I listened to I learned about music from Disney Adventures and Tarzan Dan's Video and Arcade Top 10.
I
I
was
think I was.
DJing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just DJing raves and industrial dance nights. So
Just
I was more excited about
I
Frontline
was
Assembly's
doing cool
Millennium album
stuff,
coming
you
out.
humble
fucking nerd.
brag. No, I think I was a little ahead of my time. Like I was a kid and I was the oldest kid and I had to figure out music, and I had my dad's record collection, and I also had like much music, and I remember tuning in like late night. They'd have like The Wedge and like cool music videos on there.
Mhm.
And I kind of just learned about cool music through that and then through people at school and I guess
Was
online eventually.
you know for a fact that you were listening to the next number one song from August 5th, which was Lisa Loeb.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That's my
Lisa Loeb.
first celebrity crush.
Yeah, Stay, I Missed You.
Yeah.
Big, huge hit. If the first number one hit from an
You
artist that didn't have a
stay.
recording label
Yeah.
contract, which was
Wow.
Actually,
pretty
I
impressive.
did not know that.
Mhm.
I actually know this one, which I got confused with "Stay" by Shakespeare's Sister as
Mhm.
well around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa Loeb with those glasses. Come on.
Mhm.
As a glasses aficionado, she probably triggered that fetish for me.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure I dated several Lisa Loeb clones, to be honest with you. So definitely
It happened. It happened. I remember
goth
when
versions.
when Ben met his wife Kelly, she looks a lot like Lisa Loeb.
There you go.
Oh my God.
That's
You're
wild
so
going
right.
on. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. I remember you were like, I met this girl. She looks like Lisa Loeb.
Yeah. She says I only hear what I want to, folks.
There you go.
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
Okay, so the number one movie that first weekend was The Mask.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah, Jim Carrey having his banger in 1994.
I was sad it wasn't like the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I've
like the
never-
other Mask movie with like Rocky Marciano. Remember that one? Cher.
Eric
Yeah,
Stoltz.
Cher and Eric Stoltz.
Eric
yeah.
Stoltz. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a sad movie.
Never saw that one. It seemed pretty depressing. Yeah,
The kid's face was all messed up, folks. It was all
It's-
stretched out in every direction. He couldn't believe it. Like a bad facelift. Something went wrong. He should sue. He'd make $1 million.
It was
Maybe $1 billion.
it was Elephant Man meets Bubble Boy. It was just a good movie. It's a good movie.
They call him Elephant Bubble Boy.
And then the next weekend, the number one movie was Clear and Present Danger, the second Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan. I'm not a huge fan of the Jack Ryan series in general, but I would say this is the best one. It's the one where Willem Dafoe is like fighting Contras in the jungle. So that actually
Yeah.
seems cool.
Yeah, I was actually sad they never did Red Storm Rising, which is the only Tom Clancy novel I really enjoyed. But that one
Is that the one where the Japanese kamikazes crash into Congress and take out the entire American government? So Jack Ryan becomes president, because that is my favorite one, because that is just so fucking crazy that
It
happens in a book.
that is a crazy one, but Red Storm Rising is World War III, which by the time they were doing the Jack Ryan film, starting with Hunt for Red October with Alec Baldwin, who is my favorite Jack Ryan, before they did that, like the Cold War ended, right? So Hunt for Red October, or sorry, the Red Storm Rising didn't make sense, and I had the video game for the Commodore 64, and I really liked it when I was a kid, especially since I lived at, or I went to school partially at the number one strategic nuclear target in the world. In the world, that's where I went to school,
Neat.
which is the Geilenkirchen NATO Air Base, if anyone's curious. So that's where they would have hit first. That's our dads were all like, and moms were all AWACS personnel. So anyway, Red Sword Rising really hit hard when it came out in the mid 80s, but by the mid 90s, it would have been pointless. Like, what are you going to do? Who knew that you could do it now? You could totally do it now.
Yeah, you can just do it again now. So I have this theory that Out of the Past is actually not part of the original plan that they came up with when they got their series order at the beginning of season 2 to make 52 episodes or so.
Mhm.
There's a couple things that make me think that. One, it's got a different animation company. This is the first time that the Filipino animation studio does a couple episodes, taking the place of the normal animation studio AKOM, which there's fluidity issues. There's
Mhm.
there's issues with the animation in general, but it's got a cool style to it. Whereas when this Filipino studio comes in, the animation just has a weird look to it, right? Everything's a little too elastic. There's some inconsistency to how characters are drawn.
Oh, like
Some
Gambit.
crossed eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, watch Gambit's eyes and how they change to normal eyes, kind of in just frequently.
In the
Yeah.
middle of a scene, they'll change from
Yeah.
the purple and the red and black eyes to normal eyes.
All
Yeah.
of that was rough, but the thing that really got me was those terrible little digital square wipes between scenes.
Yeah.
What was going
Yeah.
on with that?
I howled with laughter. I thought it was kind of funny, but it's very 80s. It's like they talk about out of the past, right? Like,
Right?
holy shit. That's like an
Not a normal
MTV
thing they
wipe.
were doing either. It was just this
Yeah.
animation company and how it was handling the directions. And I mean, like they do another 10 episodes, and those ones are going to be even worse, because at least with these episodes, they tried to adapt to the existing style, like the heavy black shadows
Mhm.
that really evoked the comic book style of the 80s. Um, Not so with the next episodes that we'll see. We'll start seeing them after the Phoenix Saga, because they'll drop a couple into the third season, a couple episodes that never got animated until later,
Mhm.
and they look completely wrong, and they're going to be hard to sit through. But this was at least halfway there. Um, Anyway, I just think that this maybe was a storyline just kind of inserted because Fox wanted a couple episodes for this midsummer reveal, and the plan for season 3 was to start with this 5-part Phoenix Saga epic, and they couldn't just drop 2 episodes from that.
Mhm.
And they got to introduce Lady Vengeance. I mean, Lady Deathstrike.
Mhm.
Lady Deathstrike's a really popular character, right? She wound up appearing in X-Men 2. I think by popular demand, because a lot of people I think she really resonated with people, even though the animation wasn't quite of the same caliber, and the stories kind of it feels like the story's doing two things at once, and they don't really thematically link up. Like, I don't know if this was based on any comic books, but I can't
Um,
imagine it was.
when I started reading X-Men, the Eureka flashbacks were already happening. Like he'd have them when when Wolverine or Logan was taken by the Brood, who are basically their version of like spider aliens, like xenomorphs. It was like playing off the whole alien. It's pretty freaky shit for like a 6 year
Yeah,
old. But like,
too freaky for the cartoon. When they adapt the Brood in the cartoon, they completely neuter them and make them a shittier, different version.
oh, that's too
And
bad. I
they even
love
draw them
Brood.
differently because of how differently they have to change them to make it suitable for cartoons.
Mhm.
Because it's just such a horrific. The Brood basically have as horrific a reproduction cycle as the xenomorphs from Alien do.
Yeah.
But is that when Wolverine starts to remember stuff? during the
Yeah, that's exactly right. When he starts remembering stuff, and like I remember the cover very well. It's like Wolverine all scarred up, and there's the Brood behind him. And he's all like basically, I think he's shirtless, or it's in his shirt's in tatters, and he's all fucked up. And I remember thinking that was such an iconic cover to me as a little kid. It really stuck with me. But like, yeah, that's sort of like I remember like that's where he started thinking about Japan when he was there and blah blah blah. It may not have been Yuriko, it might have been someone else, but like it was definitely a Japanese woman. And then, but
Well,
like,
this version of Deathstrike is kind of a composite. She looks like Deathstrike. She acts like Deathstrike does, but her backstory is actually Mariko's backstory,
Mariko, I may be
who
thinking of
is the
Mariko.
character, yeah, who I think we will eventually see her later on in the fourth season.
I'm thinking of
And
Mariko. Yeah.
she's the character that is in the Wolverine movie, and
Yes.
they do like 80% of that story, and then they just ends wrong. The last 10 minutes of that movie are just a dumb, weird, Hollywoodized version of it. It should have a tragic Shakespearean ending, right?
Yes.
Like we can give it away because no one's gonna read it. Mariko is supposed to die at the end of that story, and it is really tragic because Wolverine finally finds love after not being able to be with Jean and etc. And I think this is after Jean has died, but in the Phoenix Saga, but before she comes back to life. So it's just like a really hard time for Wolverine, and she gets assassinated at the end. And the movie, I think, like could have been great if they had the balls to do that, to follow through on it.
Yeah, yeah. You could. I did like it okay, but like I think it definitely, yeah, it was lacking, and you are spot
I'm
on.
sorry, we're talking about the Wolverine
The
movie.
Yeah,
Wolverine, yeah,
have you
Yeah,
seen that
yeah,
one, Ben? It's
yeah, yeah,
the Japanese one.
yeah. It was
It's,
good.
he
Mangle,
loses his
right?
powers. The middle of it's really good. I love all the part where he doesn't have his healing factor anymore.
Yeah.
So he's just really getting hurt in all these fights, but he's still going forward and doing it.
You
And
could almost say James really mangled it.
Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah.
Um, I was just gonna note, by the way, speaking of the flashback stuff, that like now I can appreciate this having lived in Canada for 20 years. But when I saw that Canadian helicopter and all those guys with laser guns, I'm like, how do they have the budget for that? Being Canadian military or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I just realized how ridiculous Alpha Flight must be, and explains the jokes in Alpha Flight, especially when you got some Canadian writers in there where they're like, "We don't have the budget for that." I'm like, haha, now I get it. Now I understand. I completely understand.
So the
Um,
Brian Mulrooney years, maybe.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it's like back to Canada in the 80s was that's why y'all are so frugal was because of the 70s and 80s here. And yeah, yeah, it's like I did get to watch this episode. I'm not even sure if I watched it back then. But I did get to watch these two episodes with being Canadian, right? Like actually looking at it from a Canadian perspective and going, how do they afford all those laser guns in the
Yeah, they
comics
just couldn't
too?
conceive of other militaries not being as amped up as the American military, when the whole point of the American military is that it is the most amped up.
Yeah. Don't tell John Byrne that like, that he didn't know about Canada. So like even though he totally didn't.
The episode starts with Leech racing through tunnels, clutching a strange device, and he's pursued by the Reavers, who were led by Lady Deathstrike. He
Yeah.
delivers this strange device to Callisto, who believes that it can unlock an alien treasure that will restore her power as the true leader of the Morlocks. Storm is not in this story at all, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity, right?
Yeah, indeed.
She should be part of this story. I don't understand why they wouldn't have her in. I get that maybe they wanted to focus on. I wonder if there's like a certain amount of episodes per season have to focus on each character. So that's why she wasn't in this one, because she's going to be the focus of
And,
the Savage Land stories that come out later. But
and there's a
I'm
lot
busy
there's a
that
lot.
day. I've got to wash my hair.
And can you imagine putting Storm in there too? There's already a lot going on in this 22 minutes per episode, right?
I feel like it would have like ended quicker because Storm is so powerful. So maybe that's why
Yeah.
she's not in it, because she's like Captain Marvel, right? She just comes in and it's it's not serious if she can't solve it, right? Because she just solves so many episodes just end with her showing up at the battle and be like, "Oh, I can do this." Boom.
Boom. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, it allowed for the Wolverine backstory, because it makes no sense. Like, we need to get in this alien spacecraft that's totally locked up. I think we need to get Wolverine. But wait, we need a motivation to get Wolverine, because why the fuck would you just get the guy with the claws and the healing factor to break into an alien spaceship? I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Super disconnected, right? Like there's normally a sense of like, oh, there's a reason for these characters to be doing this, but this one just seems like, oh, we wanted to put more Wolverine in this season, so this episode's going to be about Wolverine, and we'll go into his powers in his past and such.
Well,
Um,
it's like
yeah,
the comics. Yeah. He was in everything. Wolverine was literally in everything. Even
yeah,
like
he
Power
did get just
Pack. Yeah.
injected into everything.
Yep. Yep. Just add
He sells
Wolverine.
sells comics, right?
That's right. And then Punisher. And then they're like, hey, we got our new Wolverine. So yeah. So and then we'll put Wolverine and Punisher together and have them fight each other because, sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Deathstrike and the Reavers storm the Morlock base and open fire, and Deathstrike tries to slash open the treasure, which turns out to be an alien ship, but it blasts her back with a surge of energy. It is damaged a little bit by her adamantium in her
Mhm.
claws, but nothing else. But there's this big surge of energy that shoots out across the world and gets intercepted by Professor Xavier, who's using Cerebro at the time.
Yes, the
Thankfully.
funniest line there. He's just like, energy, so powerful. Or so, it's just like so silly. Like just the way he said it was very funny.
He's really, really angsty about everything too, right? He's like, it sounds like he's passing his shit every time he uses his telepathy.
Maybe he is.
Hey, cut him some slack. You know he's got an issue. He's bald. Come
He's
on.
actually not disabled. That's just a floating toilet.
I thought you were gonna say he has Crohn's. So
It's Crohn's. Oh, well, it's why he's bald, right? So that's what Crohn's does, right?
yeah, those two things.
That's part of it, X-Men.
That's science.
That's science.
So meanwhile, Wolverine, Gambit, and Jubilee are all playing basketball because 3 people playing basketball makes sense.
Skins versus skins, Bob.
Yeah.
They are shirtless, which is the point, I guess.
Yeah, and Wolverine's a dick.
It's nice that it's like the dudes being like objectified in this perspective, Most of the time in the comic books, this would be like a bunch of women hanging out in bathing suits for no reason.
And yet they still try to keep it quote unquote decent. That's why their nipples don't have any pinkness to them. They're just drawn on,
just colorless nipples.
because you can't have any, like, just in case. It's
transparent nipples, Ben.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
It's weird. I noticed that. I'm like, where are their areolas? So
it's kind of like
we're looking into it very closely.
Kind of like in Thundercats, Chitara's got no nipples.
Yeah.
The first episode.
But then again, if they are cat people, so wouldn't she have multiple? Anyway,
right? You think she had 8?
Yeah, but that would be really weird for the kids.
Be canonical.
They ask a lot of questions. It's like, well, when she has kitten people, like, anyway,
I'm okay. Mommy kitten and a daddy kitten love each other very much.
It's when they cover stuff like that up, I notice. Otherwise, I wouldn't notice. Like, so Chitara without nipples didn't even really care or notice. But like Wolverine and Gambit with no coloring on their nipples, I'm like, first thing I notice, and that Wolverine stabbing a basketball is totally a dick move.
Yeah, 4 foot tall Wolverine jumping as high as he can.
God damn it, Danzig! Why do you do that? And
but the basketball is so funny though. It's such a dick move.
Such a dick move.
He can't handle his emotions so badly. He's such a loser in so many ways.
And just think, how many basketballs do they go through? Like, Jesus.
He's got a whole rack of them.
Yeah.
He goes for another one before he gets the call from Leaf.
Yeah, no, they're used to Wolverine fucking up their basketballs. They are prepared for this.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah. Anyway, Leech calls. It's like a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Because that technology exists in 94, 95.
Totally.
Or
I think you had to like fix the traction and stuff on the screen. You like tweak some knobs to get it to.
Oh, that's true.
Shaking.
It's analog Zoom. The best kind.
Proto Zoom.
Yeah. And he says to Wolverine, someone named Yuriko is hiding in the sewers. Wolverine just instantly goes into flashback mode. He's haunted by his memories of Yuriko. We get
forget Jean Grey.
Right?
Yeah, all of a sudden he's got this lost
Who?
And is this where we get the flashbacks? Or they come later?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's like
I think
They're like,
Mike just
who's
skipped over the
Yuriko? And he's
flashback.
just like kind of seeing the
Yeah.
flashbacks
Well,
of it.
we see the whole we see like the whole Wolverine in Weapon X mode, being an assassin, fighting when there's big
I gotta go
battles,
talk to some
helicopters, the
Canadians.
Canadian government. Yeah,
They're
he
not the
gets
type of
captured.
guys you say no to.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Same,
Yeah,
brother.
It's just
Same.
yeah. And then we get a bit of reused footage from the last time we saw Wolverine's adamantium in the Alpha Flight episode from season
yeah.
2.
Yep.
And you can see the animations a little bit better, just in that momentary flashback, even with the haze that they put around it to indicate his flashback in this. Yeah, so Wolverine fucks off, and Jubilee, as she always does, convinces Gambit to follow him because because they're worried he's gonna get killed or whatever. I don't know why anyone's ever worried that Wolverine's gonna get hurt.
I know, like later on when Jean Grey's like, "Oh my God, you're hurt," and you're like, "Dude, it's Wolverine, man! Like that guy can take a fucking punishment like a Timex. Like the dude, like you have to encase him in concrete and throw him. This used to be a fun game we used to play. I mean, my friends, like, how would you kill Wolverine, right? Like, encase him in concrete and throw him to the bottom of the ocean or shoot him off
Yeah,
into space.
that's the only real way to do it. Yeah,
Shoot him into the sun. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
fire him with the sun.
yeah, like there's like either way, it's really expensive and time consuming to kill Wolverine. So
I mean, whatever happened between or
oh,
before Wolverine versus
can I also really quickly note
no.
that Lady Deathstrike is like saying like, you know, no one that like crosses me will come out of this alive, and she's like talking about killing people, and then they net gun everybody. Like I just laughed out
Sticky
loud.
nets.
I watched these episodes before the show, and so it's pretty fresh in my mind, and I was like, oh my God, man, old TV. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, like
Um,
we have all these weapons and guns that we're gonna like fire Ebola at you.
if you fail me,
It's like
you
how
will
the Ninja
die.
Turtles were all firing. They would like use their nunchucks and stuff, but they'd hit a chandelier, and the chandelier would fall on the Foot Clan, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Or just why write her dialogue like that? Like you won't, you know, you're
I
not gonna
feel like
let
this
it.
is a first draft, which is why I keep coming back to. I think this might
Yeah,
have been like a rush, because
because
yeah, her dialogue is so on the nose. And
they could have just taken out kill and death and stuff like that, which was pretty unusual. This is like early 90s, and so it was
right,
like or mid
it was
90s.
extreme language. They usually try to avoid talking about death and killing, and they'd say like destroy more. But no, this is she goes right for it.
Defeat.
Yeah.
I
That's
think with regards to the lasers, they weren't allowed to show like guns shooting
Yes.
yes, not
bullets,
bullets
right?
and no blood. That's why Wolverine isn't bleeding when he's cut across the chest by
Yeah.
Deathstrike. One it's interesting that they did all that, but literally everyone watching, even little kids at that time, like it was such a disconnect from everything else in the world. Like you could just turn on 24/7 news cycles. Like CNN was being pretty watched pretty heavily that by that point. And yeah,
Yeah, I've
like
been around for about 3 or 4 years. The Gulf War was the beginning of it being
yeah, you watching guys get blown apart on TV, and then you're
BBC
like
World News would show some crazy shit too.
Frontline, yeah. Like I remember all that. Like the not the band Frontline, but like the show Frontline,
don't
which
worry,
would
I've never heard of
show
the band.
uh Vancouver Legends, formed out of Skinny Puppy. But anyway,
Oh,
Frontline Assemblies actually were like a pretty big band. But they, at least in that genre, Trent Reznor even insulted them back in 1992, saying their music was cold and lifeless.
I
Anyway,
believe it. I have a friend who works for Skinny Puppy, and it says that it's very cold experience working for those guys.
oh really? That's
Yeah,
weird.
he's their
I don't
visuals
know.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. I would say Skinny Puppy is one of the least cold of the industrial bands, but that's because they have a much more intense show with stilts, and that's where Marilyn Manson got his whole show from. Walking on stilts, animals, all the whole like fake animals because they're big animal rights activists and stuff.
Right.
But like yeah,
Some
so
people might say mechanical animals.
yeah. Yeah, you can see like yeah, if you want to ruin Marilyn Manson for yourself, aside from Brian Warner being a complete
I mean,
douchebag.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson kind of ruins himself by being Brian Warner.
yeah, I've crew chief for Marilyn Manson. Yeah, he's a prima donna.
Yeah.
But like the whole like, but the whole disconnect with like violence, like and kids TV was so weird. How like the language and stuff that you're just we'd all laugh because it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this episode actually this two-part actually deals with violence in a couple interesting ways because like Wolverine fights the Reavers, he beats the shit out of them here, and but like he doesn't kill any of them even though he's fighting them with adamantium claws. He comes
chops
face
her
to
arms
face
off.
with Deathstrike, and she reveals
Yep.
that she's Yuriko, remade with adamantium and burning for revenge. And he's like, this was done to me. I'm a victim here, but you chose to become this, and that's fucked up. Like, I don't know who you are anymore.
And then
Uh,
they don't discuss it like as like normal people who'd be like, what
no,
do you
she
mean?
doesn't ever. She doesn't. She seems like completely fucking deranged. She's a
Yeah.
cartoon character, like a very one dimensional,
Yes.
just angry.
And she
Nothing
wants
she can
revenge for her
control.
father, but like, what did Wolverine do to her father? Because he keeps saying he's innocent.
Yeah, her father was a bad dude who was doing human rights violations. Yeah, yeah. So maybe he had it coming. It's like when people say like, "Oh, communism is so bad. They took everything from us." And it's like, "Oh, really? What did they take from us?" "Oh, they burned down our 7 villas and made our 100-person family flee." And it's like, "Oh, well, maybe your family were the bad guys. Maybe you thought about that."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
General,
in the early stages anyway. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Until
Like the Cuban Revolution, the
Mhm.
people that they drove out
Yeah.
generally kind of needed to fuck off, and they went off and they formed Las Vegas, which also problematic as heck.
Yeah, that's true. True.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
And
so the
Miami.
Reavers managed to overpower Wolverine while Gambit and Jubilee kind of like hide. And they're like, oh, should we do anything about this? It's pretty sad. They bring Wolverine to the alien ship, and he breaks free just as his teammates show up to help. So, what did they really do? Deathstrike is caught by the ship's force field, which sends a psychic shock to Xavier, and he's really scared now. The energy is revealed as a warning. He realizes that they need to not fuck with this thing. But
Danger.
Wolverine wants to save her because he's still a sucker, and he uses his adamantium claws to attack the ship, and that tears it open, and the green light starts to pour out. And who knows what's inside, right? I remember being really excited for a week, like who's going to be inside? Is it going to be a character? Is it going to
Is it the
be?
Beyonder? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
I did also find it highly amusing that Wolverine just gets Jubilee. No one else. They don't even discuss that. They're just like, okay, cool. And then Yuriko's like, fuck the rest of those guys. It's very funny.
Yeah. So I would give this like maybe a 6 Morlock tunnels out of 10. It's okay. It feels a bit rushed. It's an interesting story. We're getting some good Wolverine stuff. Actually, no, I give it a 5. It's a 5 out of 10 for me. How about you guys?
Yeah, same. It's
Um,
mid. Like this is the animation gets me more than anything, and
Oh
those
yeah, yeah.
terrible transitions between scenes with the digital little squares.
Watching this reminded me and made me kick myself why I ever made fun of anime. It's I've seen shitty animes that were way better written, produced, and executed. For the sake of amusement, I would give it 4 not storms out of 4. Or no storms. I thought it was. I had a pretty reasonably low opinion for different reasons when these originally aired. And I mean, no offense to anyone that loved this stuff when you were a kid. I get it. It's fucking garbage, like for the most part. There's some
No,
cool things.
it's okay.
There's some cool ideas.
This is really one of the least good episodes that we've run into, which is partly why I thought it was a really fun one to bring you in on, because
Oh,
it's
thanks.
funny to hear you hate on things.
Oh well, yeah. I think is I don't hate on. I know it takes a lot of work and there's a lot of communication in these kinds of things. I
Oh,
understand the
take the
animation,
compliment.
but like, but fuck this. Yeah, no, but it was like, it definitely brought to mind fuck me gently with a chainsaw. I was like, there were elements I liked, but some of the elements I liked were actually negative elements, like the Canadian thing. I actually laughed out loud thinking of the budget thing and everything. But I am viewing this as a 50-year-old adult and not like an 8-year-old, which I probably would have loved. I mean, I watched Robotech when I was 8, man. That show is
See, I watched this
painful
as
to
an
watch.
8-year-old adult.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there you go. There you go. Perfect.
I watched Robotech for the first time like during the pandemic, like 2020.
Yeah.
I only watched the Macross part because the other parts just instantly were repulsive to me. But I thought it really held up. It was good, like good 35 episode story. I could see it working really well as a 3-part trilogy of films.
The Macross saga is solid considering that what they did for all 3 I guess you could say all three shows of Robotech seasons, if you will.
Because for the uninitiated, Robotech is three animes that were kind of glued together by
Yes,
American scriptwriters, and they kind of suggested that the later seasons of the later iterations of the show were actually just further down the same timeline from the same story.
correct.
It wasn't originally that way in Japan, and that's
Nope.
why it's a little disjointed and why stylistically it just immediately didn't work for me as soon as we transitioned to the second story.
I would say for anybody that's ever interested in wasting shitloads of time, read the Robotech novels. They're way better. But like, it's yeah. So, but even Robotech, like even as disjointed and weird to say, the Southern Cross, which is the second Robotech Masters, the second show, the second season, which is probably the most disjointed and horrifying of the three. It's I still felt like this was kind of sort of painful to get through. It's just that it's so mashed together and everything is so like ADHD 4-year old writing this, and the dialogue is stilted and terrible. Like, get them. I'm like, oh wow, there's nothing interesting about the dialogue, nothing except maybe a bub here and there, and but I did find it entertaining. So maybe I made a 4.5.
If you'd watched some of the good episodes of the show, like if you'd watched maybe the Apocalypse, the way they set that up in 3 episodes,
Yeah,
that might have actually impressed you because there is some good structural writing, like really impressive for what the era is.
yeah.
But what we're dealing with, nah.
I honestly, I didn't hate it enough to where like actually I will do that, because I was like I kind of want to watch the show now, and see like and take you up on the Apocalypse. I'll probably just jump around and then check out the new what was it, the X-Men 97, which some of my friends are raving about. So I'm curious to see what
Yeah.
the new stuff.
You could
Well,
just jump in and watch X-Men 97 without the other stuff. However, I think it
we are
would.
going to get to X-Men 97 as soon as possible. And
Nice.
we might need some help with some hosting, if people are busy. So
Hmm.
let's keep,
Sure.
let's
Yeah.
let's keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Absolutely.
bring you in at a better one next time for sure.
I would say as well that despite this episode's failings or flaws, I'm glad it exists. Like it's part of the long march to actually X-Men the movie coming out, right? Like without the fan base built up for this, this probably did more than the comic books in a way, right? Like,
I think so in terms of proving that there was an audience for the films. Yes.
well, it got a lot of people to read the comics. It got a lot of people reinvested in it, like um
Yeah,
and
it kind of ensured that X-Men was going to succeed because, like, at the time when the rest of the comic book community receded hard in the mid '90s, the X-Men stayed the consistent top seller through the whole '90s era,
yeah,
and I
yeah, it
think
was
that the
pretty big.
comic book did a large part because, like, it brought me in, it brought a lot of people in. Like, by the time this episode of this cartoon was airing, I was leafing through the comic books at the store and I was wanting to get into it and I was waiting for my opportunity, which turned out to be the Age of Apocalypse a couple months later. I don't know if you
Nice.
ever read that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, did the cartoon ever do the Extinction Agenda with the Genossians?
It actually does that in X-Men 97.
Excellent, because that's like my favorite. I brought a lot of friends in with Extinction Agenda. I just give them all the
I
issues.
mean, it doesn't do the whole strife thing. Don't
Mm,
expect that, but they do Genosha and the Executioner and the whole setup with Cable is very interesting.
excellent. Like that, I was super. I think it dropped off in the late '90s. Finally, I think Bishop had been around for a bit, and that's when I started dropping off of X-Men.
If you
Finally,
like
after
me, that Onslaught was probably the moment when you were like, I don't know about this anymore.
Yeah, definitely not anymore for me. Like, yeah, it was. I mean, X Force really did a lot to like yeet me out of X-Men because I was a big New Mutants fan. And although did get to interview Rob Liefeld a couple times, that was fun.
That's cool.
Um, but yeah, I got a lot of shit for it because I wasn't too mean
You
to
weren't too
him.
critical enough. You weren't pointing
I
out his weird ankles.
dude. I talked about that stuff. We just started talking about Simon Bisley, and I was like, holy shit, I love Simon Bisley because I'm a big 2000 AD guy. But like, no, I was like I'm not kidding. It was like 500 pages on Newsarama talking about my interview because I had this big column called All the Rage, and it was so I had like 1 million readers a month, right? So I kind of inherited the column. I didn't start it. Rich Johnston, the guy that started Bleeding Cool later, he's the guy that started it. And anyway, people were like, why were you being mean? Blah, blah, blah. Basically, they're just being assholes. Because comic book nerds, especially in the early 2000s, were fucking animals, dude. At conventions, they were super nice.
I
I'm the
mean,
fucking
even today
animal.
on Facebook, the worst comment sections I see that aren't about Nazism and Trump are comic book fandom.
And what's weird is when you go to a convention and talk to these people, they're not like I'm the animal at the convention. I'm the one that like they fear. It's so weird because I'm just like really nice about everything, but I'll be like, so yeah, what do you think? If someone's like, what do you think about All the Rage? I'm like, well, that guy's pretty cool, I guess. And they're like, he's a fucking asshole. And I'm like, well, I am that guy. And they're like, oh, I'm very sorry, sir.
The
Like even
anonymizing power of the internet, right? When you actually get amongst your people and you're connected and stuff, you become a normal person again because a socialized person is
not
kind.
yeah. Not
And
just that, but just the writers who talked a lot of shit. Mark Wade I like Mark personally, but he was just talked mass shit, right? And then you meet him and you bring up that shit to him and he just backs right the fuck out of it. So basically none of these I remember I had a really good
just let me
discussion.
write the Flash.
Yeah,
I just want to deal with Silver Age superhero stuff.
I had a great discussion, just in case you're going to use this. I had a great discussion. I'm not going to name him, but I had a great discussion with a famous musician who has a comic book. And because I had a Skinny Puppy shirt on, and he was like, hey, cool. He likes that shit too. And we start talking, and we were talking about the weird disconnect that like we come from different backgrounds than the average comic nerd. So hearing like meeting these people and they talk this shit and then you meet them and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, and you realize that they've never been in a physical fight before, they've never actually yelled at someone before, really. Then you feel bad because then you're the bully at that point because you're like, you said you'd kill my parents or my mom or my wife or whatever, what do you have to say about that now? And they're like, they're trying to get the fuck out of it, right? Because these are just nerds. They're like
No
Aquaman
way.
fans, like, and it's okay. Like, I have no problem with that. But like, I worked in nightclubs. I was a bouncer. Like, I had no problem confronting people. So yeah, like say, famous writer. Like I probably shouldn't name Mark, but Mark's a nice. He actually is a pretty cool guy. But like, people saying shit and acting tough, and then when Mark Wade said he'd put Rich Johnson through a fucking wood chipper if he ever saw him. And I'm like, so would you actually do that? Have you ever tried to put meat through a wood chipper? And he's like staring at me like, what? I'm like, when you put meat through a wood chipper, dude, it fucks everything up. It's not like the movie Fargo. That's all movie bullshit. Like, you don't want to do that. You got all that bone, and the teeth. Like, all it's hard enamel, man. It fucks up the fucking metal and
Oh,
stuff.
I think you made this man shit himself. Like he kind of looks like Bubbles wearing normal glasses, folks. This is
He's
not a tough fella.
to be fair, I do like his takes on shit, and he's a pretty
Good writer, good writer.
great writer,
Not a tough looking guy by any
and
stretch.
in my experience, a pretty cool dude.
The
Like,
green bastard.
he was always super friendly to me and very welcoming. So like, I'm not casting any shade on him. It's probably why I brought him up because I like the guy. But like, it's just weird. Like, there are other writers who'd say all kinds of shit, like just brutal shit, and then you're like, so you want to say that to my face? And they're like, no, and they don't know what to
Yeah.
do. It's so funny. I mean, nowadays with how interconnected people are on the internet and everything, even more so, I think you get probably a much more last conventions I went to, like a much more realistic interaction with people, but because now people know that they might see you, like it's just
Oh yeah, the evolution of the world, the chamber.
yeah
The
yeah
chamber. Anyway, I'm gonna get us
yeah.
back into this episode.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So part two begins with a big old green light bursting out of the crashed alien ship through the Morlock tunnels, revealing a terrifying creature that doesn't really have a corporeal body. Like, we're seeing light and its edges.
He's like
And we see-
wireframe.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
we see
heavy
its
metal.
mouth and its eyes. We see light coming out of the inside of it. But it's a unique look. It's kind of cool for like
It's
at
like
first
if
I was
Little Mac from Punch Out was like a frog of some kind.
It
yeah.
reminded me of Heavy Metal, the film.
Yeah.
The green light, like if Heavy Metal and Excalibur had a baby in that direction with light and how the
Oh yeah,
creatures.
this could have been a creation of the Lochnar for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Where was where's Dar? Anyway, go
And
ahead.
at first I was disappointed because it's not a character, it's not speaking. But
Yeah.
then it was really interesting because um, it's like a classic horror movie monster that eats the souls of people.
Mhm.
And that's a great way to show a kind of slasher movie monster in a context where you can't show any violence. So I right away have more respect for this second episode just
Yeah,
because this is a pretty cool monster to be putting in a cartoon for kids.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would
So
have
all
loved if I was 8, I would have loved it.
yeah, yeah, like it in one swoop just takes out all of the Reavers and their lives drain out of their bodies. The green Lochnar eyes
Mhm.
flaring as the soul leaves their bodies. That's cool. That was appropriately scary. Kind of like Ernest Scared Stupid style scary.
Nice.
Yeah. So the X-Men retreat. Gambit stays behind to buy them time. I don't know what the fuck he thinks he's going to do against the spirit drinker. Jubilee runs back and leaps into the path, sacrificing herself to save him. So she's been treated. So right away the stakes are way higher. Like, oh my god, is
Speaking
Jubilee dead?
Speaking of the stakes, I will give episode 1 and 2 credit for showing Gambit to be like he is a person of chance. So the first time he doesn't take the risk, right? He decides that discretion is a better part of valor. And then the second time he takes the risk to face the creature. And I'm like, it's a Gambit, right? So there you go. That's
But
Gambit.
he's
That's his entire
yeah. I
character.
also like how he's more willing to take a risk for a bigger stake issue, which is it shows
Correct.
a real character, right?
All
Like
in. Yeah, yeah.
he's gonna keep his skin on the line unless it really matters, in which case he will throw himself in the line of fire. I think it's why people really liked Gambit is because
Yes.
he like had a really specific code where he was a rogue, but he would always do the right thing when the line was down. You didn't have to question it. Um,
You could call him Gambit Solo, if you will.
I won't.
He's basically Han Solo. He's basically Han Solo with mutant powers.
He is very Han Solo, you right.
Yeah.
Back at the mansion, Xavier tracks the crisis
Orlando.
through Cerebro,
Mhm.
while Wolverine carries Jubilee's lifeless body to safety. Elsewhere, we cut to Beast lecturing at an art museum, and Cyclops and Jean on a quiet date, and they're talking about how they narrowly escaped dying at Mr. Sinister's hands, which I think is a nice little bit of like
Callback.
a
Yeah.
denouement for the previous season's season-long arc where Mr. Sinister kept trying to capture them. And little clue that made me think that maybe this episode was kind of jammed into it because that kind of like denouement come down is not common. We don't see that
No.
a whole lot, especially in cartoons at the time.
I also would like to say that when the guy that is serving him, the restaurant guy, and he's like, "I'll get that to go." I just want to think that they have to go immediately, but they wait for their food to get packed up. I just like to think that, and that's
That's
just
really
pretty
funny. They're
Sorry
like,
to do
"Oh, we
this
need to
again
save his
to you.
life," but yeah.
pretty
Also,
hilarious.
like, why would this chef be pissed off that they were leaving? Like, is the chef want to be doting on them? I don't really understand that. Like, is he their
He's trying to be their third.
Yeah, that was the vibe. Okay, I'm glad
I
we're
think
all
I think I
credited.
think Gene and Scott are just really polite, but I just think it's funny that they're just going to wait there for their food to get packed up instead of just leaving, right? Like
Yeah,
I
that's a
thought
good
was
point.
hysterical. And then you're going to get to the Beast at the art gallery, which really threw me. But go ahead.
No, just just tell me
Yeah,
about
who
the
is that
beast.
lady?
Well, yeah, okay. One, who's that
She looked like
lady?
a wealthy dowager, you
Is
know?
she a rando or is he on a date with her? The way he grabs her arm, if he doesn't know her, man, Beast, you got boundary issues, buddy.
Buddy.
Like I'm like, woo, bub.
Like I can't grab a woman like that. I can't imagine being 3 times my width and covered in blue hair.
Dude, if I grab my wife like that at an art gallery, she's gonna hit me. You know what I mean? Like that's my partner, like a random woman, a random person, a guy, anyone, but like especially a woman, like it would be really weird. I did like the note about the Jackson Pollock painting that you can't tell it from his drop cloth. That was a bit over the heads of the kids.
Yeah.
You got some kid probably looked
Definitely a
up who the
joke
fuck.
that I only understood this time through. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he turns around and praises Picasso, but okay.
yeah.
Go off, King.
Fucking cubist bullshit. Yeah. So yeah. Well, that wasn't Picasso, was it? Yeah, it was Picasso. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
All of your references are correct so far. I wanted to
thank
edit
you.
it out. I'll
Thank
just
you.
edit out this part where we talk about it.
Fact checking us in real time. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. So I'm just
Uh, the
ripping.
spirit drinker, the spirit drinker hunts the team through the sewers, realizing that it holds Jubilee's soul. They want to destroy it and free her, but they don't want to kill it. So
Mhm.
Gambit attempts to bury the creature, but doesn't really matter because it can move through rocks and walls.
Mhm.
And that leaves Wolverine and Deathstrike to face it alone. The alien drains Deathstrike just as the rest of the X-Men show up. So she's down for the count. She's been absorbed in, and all of the spirits inside the spirit drinker are saying like, "Oh, you never
Hug
nailed the beast. You're
me.
gonna fuck this up. They're all gonna
Well,
laugh at you."
now
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Really
the
reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street. I think 4 or 5, the one where there's like Freddy's eating a pizza, and the pizza has the souls of all the kids that he's
classic. I
Pizza. Good
I
metaphor.
am I am curious if the spirits saying "help me" and whatever else they were saying is that the creature or their souls or
right.
or both, and
Wolverine
that's a good
says,
question.
"You must not know me very well," and it makes me think like, is he saying
Yeah,
that to Deathstrike or the Spirit Drinker? They keep it really anonymous.
I
yeah,
I
think
like to
that
think it's
it's
the Spirit
the
Drinker.
spirit drinker tricking them because,
yeah,
spoiler alert, like what happens at the end, right? Like,
Oh, the Spirit Drinker knows that Wolverine is its kryptonite, so
yeah.
I think that it's fucking with it. I think it's a more interesting monster if it's fucking with him too, right?
Adamantium is
right.
its kryptonite.
I was gonna say, excuse me, but it's adamantite. But yeah, adamantium. But Ben beat me to it. Ben beat me to that bastard.
Okay, so the team regroups and the
Son of a
Spirit
bitch.
Drinker escapes. Xavier and Beast investigate the alien ship and discover it was a crashed prison vessel meant to contain the creature.
Mhm.
Xavier's telepathic vision floods with alien symbols and distant cosmic images. Most of these are clips from the Phoenix Saga that is just follows this,
Mhm.
and it's all better animation. You can just tell right away.
Yeah,
Yeah, the X-Men then corner the Spirit Drinker on a subway platform and drive it onto the third rail, killing it in a surge of electricity. I forget who gives them the idea, but Beast and Wolverine kind of work
oh,
together.
Wolverine
Um,
sees it.
yeah. A
oh,
piece of
yeah.
the a piece of the tentacle of the beast hits the third rail and disintegrates, and so it gives. I think Ben's right. The Wolverine saw that, and that gives the idea
Yeah,
to Gambit. Yeah,
yeah. So then they do that. They kill the thing. Everyone's souls return to their bodies, just
that
like at
looked
the end
cool.
of Troll. Um, Jubilee and Deathstrike are revived, but and Deathstrike says like, you saved my life, so I'm not gonna fuck with you, and you've also got your whole X-Men team here, so I can't fight you, but I'm
And
gonna
she
get you
bows
later.
to him.
I'm not sure if we see her again. We'll pay attention for that.
I still just wonder, like, I would have wondered this at the time, even though I was 8. I would have been like,
Yuriko.
why don't they discuss it now? Like, he's like, I didn't kill your dad. And she's like, she could be like, you didn't? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I swear you killed my dad. And then he could be
Oh yeah,
like, well,
that part.
yeah,
Well, no, he does. He did kill her dad. It's just
yeah.
that like he deserved it, and I think that there's no real way to have that argument. Like,
Mm,
hey,
I'm
I'm sorry
sorry,
I killed your
Yuriko.
dad. He really had it coming.
Your dad
Fuck
was a
him.
piece of shit.
yeah, good
He
point.
gave me this stupid skeleton that I fucking hate.
I'm
You know how
s-
heavy this shit is?
It cuts
Fuck
me every
him.
time I use it. Every day, every time I fight,
My
I
hands are so
bleed.
itchy.
he's got to start that with like, oh, I'm sorry, Eureka Mangala bub. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Yuriko, I'll come back for you. Gene, I'll wait for you. Pick one, pal.
yeah, pick one,
Pick
bud.
one.
Yeah.
Bub.
Although also I've never heard a Canadian say bub
Me
ever.
either.
yeah,
Just
I
that's the
say
bud.
it
one thing
just
we
as a
do.
joke sometimes
Because of Wolverine. Yeah.
because
Yeah,
of Wolverine. It's like
Um,
the thing affecting the thing.
I think it's
However you
actually
say
like a
that.
Minnesotan thing, if anything. You know,
it's yeah. It's
Maybe it's something we said in the 1800s and he was around then.
I was just thinking
it
that
was
maybe,
acceptable in the
but I
1800s.
don't
It was
think bub was a
acceptable
term,
at
but
the
maybe.
time.
Maybe because he is from Alberta, right? So
Yeah,
Wolverine's from Alberta.
Hurtin' Albertan, bub.
That's right. That's right. He's a little James Howlett.
I thought it was funny how many like kind of phallic sexual references to this beast thing. He was like, "Yeah, try sucking on me. I hope you gag."
suck on
And then,
this.
like,
Yeah.
suck on this. Like, it was like, oh,
I think that was an Evil Dead
relax.
reference.
Relax.
Is
Yeah, maybe.
that Evil Dead 2? Because I think this predates
Suck
Army
my
of Darkness.
boomstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, suck on this. Yeah, like or maybe you said that in
Evil
Army
Dead
of
2 had been
Darkness.
out for a while. I think it's possible.
But Army of Darkness, I think, was 93. So actually it might have been an Army of Darkness reference. Because he says, I think he believe he does say suck on this. But also it was a common thing to say back then.
Yeah, I
You
mean
know?
February '93, and we're over a year later, and this is like a rushed episode. So I feel like rushed episodes are more likely to include references that don't get cleaned out.
And
I think it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, but it also, like I said, suck on this was a very common thing to say. I remember I threw an egg at a dude and said, suck on this. And I hit a guy once before
Sick.
I said, suck on this. So, like, yeah, it's, it was something we said.
Yeah. So we get a
Suck it.
teaser for the Phoenix Saga, and it mercifully ends. I think this episode was better, but still not a great episode. So I give it like a 6 third rails out of 10.
Mm.
Nice.
I'll give it 6 corporeal tentacles from an incorporeal being out of 10 as well.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it another 6.9. I really like the character design of the soul drinker.
Yeah.
Guy. He was cool. Like, I like the like wireframe kind of translucent but green effect.
Yeah, it was a good monster. It was a good monster.
Yeah. And I like how like they were like, oh, let's make adamantium its weakness, and that way Wolverine and Deathstrike could be the
That did tie things in together logically.
Cool. Yeah.
Not like from a thematic storyline sense, but
it also seemed like
work.
punch dimension blasts seemed to affect it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good old punch dimension. You can always count on it to fuck with anything up.
So funny. That will always make me laugh.
It is interesting that adamantium was its weakness.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you familiar with that whole punch dimension thing, Steve?
Not really.
Yeah. Oh, so
let's get into it, Jim.
Yeah. So let's just end the episode while explaining this over. So it turns out that Cyclops doesn't fire laser blasts. He is channeling this other dimension of pure kinetic force that he calls the punch dimension. So he's not firing laser blasts. He's firing the punch dimension at people.
That's right.
Eyes are portals to the punch dimension.
Well, I remember from the comics, like it does come from it's an extra dimensional kind of thing because because they had to explain why he has these optic blasts when that's a very strange thing to be projecting from your head. Like, where is it powered from?
Yeah, it really does make no fucking sense.
And he doesn't seem to be drained that much by it. So, but maybe he's channeling another dimension through his eyes, and that makes sense. And of course, if his brother Havoc has the same power source.
I'm guessing his powers also come from the punch dimension. He's
literally the punch dimension. Yeah.
He channels it through his chest, right? Like he doesn't have the head injury. Like Cyclops might actually be able to manifest it in some other way, but he has a head injury that makes him not have control over it coming through his eyes. Whereas Havoc doesn't have that. So he's just channeling it and pushing it out.
They're broken. Cyclops is a broken radar dish. Amazing.
He is. He's just an AWAC wandering around without wings.
I was gonna say he's AWAC'd. So, the poor guy.
Rim shot.
I know. But yeah, that's right. Shit. I used to be a big fan of Cyclops. I love that guy. X Factor really made me fall in love with Cyclops as a character, but
because of his name, Scott.
No, not Scott. If his name was Steve, maybe, but it had more to do with X Factor is more of a like at times a detective comic. Like it was more investigation. They're all like
first X Factor when it was the original X-Men team reuniting as adults without Xavier and pretending to be not mutants.
Yes.
So they were like to the public, they were like people. They were superheroes policing mutants. So they had a really different, interesting thing going on.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That was also where Apocalypse came from. He was
designed as
a villain for them.
And when he takes Angel and turns him into Archangel and the Four Horsemen, so good. Man, that movie.
I like X Factor too. Even when they did another team later and it was like the government team, that's also a really interesting superhero team. Like, okay, we got the government mutants, the ones working with the people that are maybe doing bad things. A lot of interesting angles with that.
I do want to note that with Apocalypse, with the film, the X-Men with the Apocalypse movie,
Yeah.
they one time that you needed to turn Galactus into a fleet of ships or whatever, where you had to radically change the source material, they should have done that with Apocalypse because he did look. I loved Apocalypse. He was one of my favorite villains, but wow, he looks stupid as fuck with especially the big A on his belt buckle there.
Yeah, they really blew it.
That's the Scarlet Letter. He's an adulterer.
Yeah, him and Hester Prynne, they go back.
Man. Next up, he's gonna put like Angel through a crucible.
Like it was actually Ansabanura showing up with the natives at the end in the movie version of the Scarlet Letter to save them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because nobody knew the ending of the Scarlet Letter, right? So you can just do a Hollywood ending. That. No big deal, no problem at all.
Yeah. Man,
And on that note, I'm going to end the episode. Thanks for coming in, Steve.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.